Welcome to Good Sampling Techniques. So this video, we're basically going to discuss what is needed in order for a sampling technique to be good. So the first major component of a good sampling technique is that the technique needs, when you sample, you need to be drawing from the entire population. So in other words, all individuals in the population should have a chance of being sampled. So, for example, if we're trying to do a study on college students, we shouldn't just sample students taking in-person classes.
Whoa, that was a fancy move.
The other major piece that you should have when you're taking a sample or going to pick your sample is that the process should be random. So the process should be random, or the selection should be random. And I don't mean human choice random, because that's not actually random. I mean actually using a random number generator, using some random selection process to pick the individuals. So you can do this. Use a random number generator. To select individuals from a list. So the reason behind doing random selection instead of the individual picking or the researcher picking is that we remove the bias of the researcher. So letting randomness to do the work removes all possible human bias. And so once we remove human bias, we're just letting probability do the work for us, and our statistical computation will be completely based off of the fact that we are picking a random sample for everything here forward. Somehow I erased something. This should say, if it's random, the larger the sample size, the better. So if it's random and draws from the whole population, then the larger the sample size, the better. So basically, the very first thing we should do is we should verify that a sample, the technique used drew from the entire population, and that it was random selection was used. If both of those two conditions are satisfied, then we consider the sample size. But no matter what, random selection paired with drawing from the whole samples or from the whole population is better than something that does not do one of those. So no matter the size, random selection paired with drawing from the whole population is better than any other sampling technique. But if we have, say, two different sample selections to compare to each other, both which were random selection and drew from the whole population, then whichever one was going for the larger sample would be the better sampling method. So size is just something to consider as at the end, once we've already checked random selection and drawing from the whole population. All right, so those are the criteria for a good sampling technique.